Hey and welcome to New World with Aragon. So with many things that you can craft within this game, you're going to need certain gathering materials. Many of them you can find fairly easily, like certain trees. They're all over the place, but when you want to go and get, let's say, wirewood or ironwood, it might be a little bit more tricky to find. Of course, just by playing the game, you're going to memorize different locations and where you found them in the past, and then you can usually go and find them again there after a certain time has passed, since many of these nodes will respawn after you've, let's say, dug them up. Like when you want to go mining, you have all these certain different ores, and you might want to find a specific location where there's abundance of it, and that way you can continually keep harvesting them, and then they'll just respawn and you can harvest more of them. However, you might be confused as to where you can actually find all of these. Some of them are only available in specific locations. You generally get ores high up on the mountains. You generally get your certain harvesting materials like your hemp around your rivers and your lakes and your forests. Well, many of these within game can be actually tracked. When you level up to a certain level in your certain skill, you can see with iron, it can be tracked at level 25. Silver can be tracked at 35. And the way it is actually done that you can track these certain things in game is through the ability of when you look at the compass. When we look up the top there and we just rotate around, there'll be some point where you can see there now, we can see fish. Since we can track fish, they're in that location. If we walk around a bit further, because you're going to have to be within a certain range for these things to be able to be spotted. You can see there, 2 of those turkeys are ahead of me there. So when we keep traveling in this direction, we'll find those turkeys. If we keep traveling, we can see we run into both those turkeys. So that's the in-game tracking system. But it might be a lot more confusing and a lot harder to find things when you have so many things that are tracked. I believe there is an ability where you can stop tracking something, but I'm not quite sure on that. You can also see a very simple thing on your map here. When you go resource locations, you can see the certain resources there that we are able to track will be found in those general areas, but that is just so general it can be very hard. Now I have something that's going to help you out a lot more. When we go to this website, you can see that we can have the entire New World map here. You can filter certain things. For example, you can see I currently have the ores iron veins, seeping stone, that's basically oil, and silver veins all linked on the map there, and you can see where all of them are located. I started out in this Everfall town, and if I want to go and get a bunch of iron, I know I just have to go over here and I can simply just walk back and forth and gather a whole ton there. If I need some silver, I could head up here and get a whole bunch, but keep in mind some areas may be more populated, for example this area, and thus the resource will be mined quite frequently and then be harder to obtain. If you want to be getting like your saltpeter for your gunpowder, you're going to have to find certain caves. For example, this one up here with a whole abundance of it. And if you want to go and find your hemp fibers, you can see there's many locations dotted around, a whole bunch just down here, and so on and so forth. And you can use all those different filters, and it's just really easy then to exactly locate where you need to find everything, rather than having to hunt for it yourself, which may even take up to hours if you're unlucky, and especially if you don't really know what you're looking for. So that's really it. Unfortunately, the game doesn't have it within itself, but I think it's supposed to be more natural. If you want to play the game and just find all these things for yourself, you might consider a tool like that with the map kind of game breaking, since it takes away from the exploration, the self-exploration, the communication with other players of where to find certain things. But it will also take away the frustration of having to rely on other people. You can just simply look on that map, find everything you need and head there. It will still take you quite a lot of travel time to get there, gather things, head back again to empty your inventory and head out again. For example, right now I'm trying to level up my mining skills, so I'm just going out, finding big veins, harvesting them, and heading back to town once my inventory is nearly full. I'm trying to get this leveled up so that I can go and have access to star metal, and then I can make steel nice and easily. Anyway, that be that. Hopefully this tool is somewhat helped you guys, some info, and also how to just simply track these things in-game as well. If I presented this well, consider leaving a video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.